What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the review and discussion for UnOrdinary episode 205. Honestly, a really short episode, it feels like. There not a whole lot happens in this episode, but there is a bit to unpack in this episode. So let's go ahead and get into it. Spoiler alert, this review and discussion is going to have a bit of a tangent. If you know, you know. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So Doc and Layla, the episode starts out with them as Doc is looking at the amplifiers that Remy had a hold of her that she grabbed from Byron. And Layla asks about her. And while he's doing that, he does mention his girlfriend. So real quick, Doc and Layla are back together again. It is official. Now at first, I thought this was kind of strange when I read it because I could have sworn that he said he wasn't trying to get back together with her. So I went back and checked in episode 285, and yeah, it was a bit of mismemory on my part because he mentions he's doing it because he confirmed that once the cure was to the disabler was finished, he was leaving Zetasai. And Layla also told him and also confirms to him that she likes him for him. So yeah, there's that. So I was kind of confused on my part, but he never really said that, like, we're not getting back together. So there's that. But Doc also confirms that he never did test the amplifiers like Vaughn asked him to. When Keon originally went to him, he said, okay, fine. After a bit of arm twisting, he said, okay, fine, I will look into it when I can. He confirms that he never did. But he is currently now looking into it because he believes it could help John and Sarah's situation. So, again, Doc cares about these kids. And also, when reading this episode again, I've probably brought up this point before, but I'll just say it again. It's really nice to see that Doc is like a real doctor. He may not like doing what he does. He may be annoyed at it, but at the end of the day, he still does his job, and he still chooses to heal anyone, even those who may piss him off. So that's really cool, and I really like that about his character, that at the end of the day, Doc is a doctor, and he's like, I'm a healer, so whether I want to or not, I have to make sure that this person lives as much as I can. So it's really nice to see. Doc and Remy then walk out with Sarah. This moment is very brief. There's a bit of comedy with them meeting Layla, and Blake is just like, hey, nice man, she's hot. Anyway, that's about it. But as they introduce themselves, Remy kind of says that they'll leave soon. But Doc says that his policy has not changed and that they're staying until they are healthy. So probably like a day or two, honestly. So, and he does use his ability. As he does so, use the nightmare, Layla just smiles at him. She knows he cares. That's that for that, honestly. Like I said, there's not too much that happens there, honestly. So, yeah. So, we're back at Wellston, and John is in the safe house. Seemingly, I think he might be the one in charge now, I guess. So he hears a few students talking about how Remy and Blake have called out, or didn't show up without telling anyone, and Ison called in sick. So John hears the discussion. As he's walking around later, though, Arlo runs up to him asking if he's seen Remy or Blake, and John tells him that Blake didn't come back to the dorm the night before. And Arlo clearly gets upset, and he starts to worry. And he even asks himself, how am I supposed to protect you guys if you're already dead? So it's kind of nice to see the pressure kind of getting to Arlo. And yeah, like I said before, guys, I know I'm not the biggest Arlo fan, but this is honestly very nice to see that Arlo's trying. He's trying to keep everything together, and it's really good to see, honestly. So, as he starts freaking out and tries to leave, John suggests that he check with Ison. When they go to his dorm, John literally kicks the door down because he's like, Ison could just be hiding. And he kicks the door down, and they see a fevered Ison in bed. So they immediately check up on him, and John says that he's burning up, and Arlo calls the healer. So, yeah, we're going to talk about this, and I know it's been a long while since I've had a rant, but we're going to talk about this. So, Elaine heals Ison, who's very much probably not near death, but he is still severely injured. And as Ison begins to wake up, John and Arlo clearly are like, okay, good, he's getting up. But Elaine realizes she wasn't thanked as usual. And when everyone begins to ask Ison about what happened, she asks if she can leave, saying, again, she doesn't want to be a part of the conversation. It's fine. Arlo then asks why she has that attitude, and she says that she knows they only wanted her for her feeling, even though she's always tried to be a part of the group, but now that she's not trying to fit in with them, she's felt more free. Keep in mind, Ison just woke up from a very severe injury. Now, on the one hand, yes, I'm going to say this. On the one hand, yes, Elaine probably should have been thanked. On the other hand, she has said multiple times she doesn't want to be involved with what they're going on. She doesn't want to be a suspect. She doesn't want to get involved with what they're getting with because it's dangerous. Everyone realizes that. Everyone else, except for Ison, honestly. Ison is kind of the one I feel who gets dragged in the most, even though he ends up agreeing reluctantly. But everyone else has decided, no, I'm by your side. I'm with you till the end. We're solving this together. Elaine has continuously said, I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to get involved in like illegal shit. If you need healing, I'll heal you. I don't want to know anything. Both are fine. Both of them are fine. Now, yes, she should have been thanked, but Ison just woke up bedridden. He just woke up because his arm had tears in it. He was burned. He was wrecked last night. He barely made it out alive. We didn't see it, so it's not fair to say this, but I am going to say it, and you guys can hold me to this. Honestly, you can totally hold me to this. Ison probably would have thanked you had you not left. Ison is a pretty good dude. But Ison was in bed, injured, bedridden. He did not go to school that day. He was getting sick because his injuries were not properly tended to. She made the scene and the moment about her. That's not okay. There is a time and a place for this. And she says how she's always tried to be a part of their group, but, you know, it kind of just always falls flat, basically. She's felt less pressure ever since she stopped hanging out with them. Remy has been nothing but nice to Elaine. Remy chose Elaine for the safe house because Remy thought, oh yeah, Remy thinks that Elaine is one of them. Remy thinks that Elaine is just as important to the Royals as the rest of them. Remy thought, we can trust Elaine. Elaine's one of our people. Remy chose you for a reason, Elaine. To a certain extent, yeah. Sarah might be your friend, honestly, because Sarah chooses to still room with you for God knows why. Blake seems pretty chill with you too. And again, like I said, I'm sure Ison would also appreciates you, Elaine. I'm sure Ison also values you as a person. John doesn't fucking give a shit about you because you don't give a shit about John. That's fine. You guys don't really care for each other. Again, like I've said before, you're the number one person who did deserve to get slapped by John, but you didn't. You made it out unscathed. Good job. Everyone in the safe house likes her for some reason. They think that she's perfect. They think that, yeah, Elaine's got our back. The only person she should be mad at, the only person Elaine has the right to be mad at, is Arlo. She does not have the right to drag everyone else down with him. She does not have the right to say, I've always tried to be a part of your guys' group. No. She should be saying, Arlo, I've always tried to impress you. Because she has. because she has. She's always tried to make time for Arlo. She should not be dragging down everyone else with him. Because yes, for the entirety of the series, Arlo has ignored Elaine. Elaine offers Arlo juice from fresh squeezed oranges, and Arlo does not respond. Arlo leaves her on red. Arlo texts her the next day, "We need to talk about Sarah." Arlo has ignored Elaine time and time again. At Rowden Hill, Arlo asked Remy, "Hey, I'll hang out with you. Like, is that cool?" And Remy said, "Oh, the three of us, me, Oriel, and Elaine, we're just going to go shopping. Do you still want to come?" Arlo has a mission. Granted, Elaine doesn't know about that mission. Why? Because Elaine doesn't want to know what's going on. They've respected her wishes. But Elaine's like, "Okay, Arlo's hanging out with us. Cool. I can try and impress him. I can try and get a nice dress for him. Arlo, what do you think of this nice dress?" Arlo's literally just on his phone. Granted, again, he has a reason. He has a legitimate reason. He's trying to stay in contact with John, Sarah, and everyone. They're trying to stay connected so they could be like, okay, we have to stick together. We have to make sure that the three of them are all safe. And Elaine clearly doesn't know about that, but she gets upset because, once again, like always, Arlo's ignoring her. But Remy chose to spend time with you at Rowden. Remy wanted to go shopping with you. You call Sarah a friend despite shitting on her friends before. You thought yourself so equal, so high and mighty that you could talk to Sarah like, "Stop hanging out with a loser like John." You thought you were friends. The only person who's actually been cruel to you, undeserved, because you absolutely deserve John's hatred. You absolutely deserve John's spite. That came full circle for you, and you couldn't take your own medicine. But the only person who's actually been cruel to you, who's actually never shown interest in you, that's Arlo. That's Arlo. You're mad at Arlo. Stop dragging everyone else down with it. Arlo may have treated Elaine wrong. But I'm also going to throw this out there. Arlo has never expressed that kind of interest in Elaine to her. And she's definitely seen how Arlo treats Aventus and Melee, his lackeys. She knows. She knows what a lackey gets treated like. And she's like, her scene was just really annoying. And Elaine, just stop. Just stop. Cool. You stood up for yourself. And you did it at the worst possible time. Now, if this was supposed to be another moment to get us to hate her more, great job, Uru. Awesome job. If this was supposed to be a moment of trying to sympathize with her and, showing her growth that we haven't seen ever, and like a victory for her, literally the worst moment to do it. Literally the worst moment to do it. You can't have your cake and eat it too, Elaine. You can't say, "I want to be a part of the inner circle. I want you guys to treat me as an equal. I want to be a part of the crew. I want to be a member of the main cast." You can't say that but immediately precede it or follow it by, "I don't want to be involved with your guys' bullshit. No thanks. Like, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a criminal. I don't want any part of that." Elaine, you absolutely have a right to say that. But the reason why everyone else is friends, the reason why everyone else has each other's back, is because they have each other's back. They're willing to do whatever it takes to help their friends, to save their friends, to change the world. You don't want to do that. You want status. You want to be cool. You just want the appearance that you're important. I stand by what I said. Elaine didn't join the safe house because she's Remy's friend, because she wanted change. She wanted status. She wanted the fakers to stop because they were coming after her now. Because deep down, Elaine knows she's just as bad as Zeke. She's worse than Zeke. Because Zeke, everyone knows, Zeke, he puts it on full display who he is. He's important. You're pathetic to him. Zeke's only loyalty is to himself. And I'm going to be honest, I respect a character like Zeke a hell of a lot more than someone still so two-faced like Elaine. Elaine didn't care about the low tiers getting hurt. Elaine cared that she got to spend time with Arlo. And Elaine, even you deserve someone a hell of a lot better than Arlo. Any Elaine shippers out there? Any Elaine Arlo shippers out there? No. You can't look at how he's treated her, how he's ignored her, and say, oh, this is so cute, he likes her so much. No, he doesn't. It's really mean how he treats Elaine. It's not okay. I don't like Elaine, but yeah, no. Arlo doesn't care about Elaine. That's that. The Elaine tangent is over. The chapter ends with Arlo and John asking Ison for a bit more information, trying to get him to tell them what happened last night, but he continuously gives vague answers. So, when Arlo asks why he's not telling them anything, Ison says it's because he does not trust Arlo. And like I said in the reaction, Ison is being both fair and unfair with Arlo right now. Now, real quick summary, because like I said, I mentioned this in the reaction. Ison's being fair because Arlo can't really, in his eyes, Arlo can't be trusted. And whenever Arlo begs or goads information out of Ison, it always ends horribly. Arlo abuses information out of Ison. Arlo can't be trusted with the information that Ison gives him. Arlo has kind of forced Ison into a lot of situations he didn't want to be in. Arlo refused to listen to Ison about John, even after Ison tried to warn him, you need to stop, for God's sake, stop, Arlo. And when Ison confronted Arlo about it, and when Ison finally told Arlo because Arlo ignored him before, Arlo yelled at Ison, why didn't you tell me before? Like I said, Arlo has gotten a lot better in the recent season. But I completely understand why Ison doesn't trust Arlo, why Ison doesn't want to trust Arlo. Now, on the other hand, he is being a bit unfair to Arlo because he's being unfair to Arlo from our perspective as the audience because we know what Arlo's going through right now, and clearly Ison does not. He's being unfair to Arlo because Arlo actually is trying to help everyone out right now. Arlo is really, really sticking his neck out. Arlo is trying to protect everyone, to get them out of danger of the authorities. Which brings me to my last point before we end off here. John really needs to step up for Arlo in 306. John knows what Arlo is trying to do now. John knows that Arlo is the reason Sarah got out while she could, why she didn't get caught. Arlo has dug himself into a big hole with his position with the authorities in order to save Sarah, and he's trying to do the same for the trio. And like I said before, Arlo has stepped up for John multiple times in this season. It's time for John to return the favor. John needs to say something for Isaac. And if he doesn't, I'm going to be honest. I will be very disappointed in John for not stepping up for Arlo if he doesn't. Granted, if John doesn't get an opportunity to say something, if Ison tells Arlo, I don't trust you, and Arlo immediately responds with, I know, I don't deserve your trust, stick out, just please listen, and he explains what the situation is, John doesn't necessarily have to. But if Arlo asks why and Ison just kind of refuses to respond and John just stands there in silence and doesn't say anything, I'll be disappointed in John, honestly. Like I said, Arlo's still not a perfect character by any means, but he's had a lot of growth and he's really changed a lot this last season. He's actually starting. Arlo's growth is actually starting to happen, and the wheels in his head are starting to realize, shit, fuck, something might be wrong with this system. Everyone else might have been right. So yeah, John has to help out Arlo in this next part. If he doesn't, I will be disappointed in John, honestly. And you guys know I don't say that. You guys know that I never say that I'm disappointed in John. But yeah, that's going to be it for this review and discussion. Not a whole lot happens in this episode, honestly. There is a bit to unpack, but you know, her section really throws off this episode, honestly. It makes it really weird. And again, it takes a moment that's supposed to be about a person who was bedridden, makes it about her, and then just says, fuck you, I'm out. So, yeah, really weird. What did I give last week's episode? A 6.5. This one's also... no, that's not fair. We'll give this one a level 7. It's decent. No, 6.5. Yeah. So, with that being said, guys, this one kind of went on longer than I expected. I really didn't think her section would take that long. But let me know what you guys thought down below in the comments. Also, shout outs to the person in Uru's Discord who pointed that out to me, how the section was kind of supposed to be about Ison, but she of course decided to make it about her. So shout outs to you, random citizen. Anyway, yeah. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, everyone, see you, Space Cowboy.